When we think of prehistory, we often imagine rugged hunters facing off against gigantic beasts. But have you ever wondered what role women played in that wild era? Beyond the typical image of men hunting, Stone Age women were crucial to our species' survival, taking on roles that defied expectations. And if you think this only applies to modern humans, think again. The Neanderthals, an archaic human species that coexisted with us for thousands of years, were incredibly resilient and well adapted to their environment. Yet, despite their strength, they mysteriously disappeared around 40,000 years ago. Why? Their story is full of enigmas and surprising revelations. In fact, we have a video dedicated to them where we debunk myths and explore their true nature. But before you watch it, stay here, because what you're about to discover about prehistoric women might completely change your perspective on human history. On the other hand, the Cro-Magnons, the first anatomically modern humans in Europe, thrived between 40,000 and 20,000 years ago. The women of this era were surprisingly tall and robust compared to many modern populations, a trait inherited from their ancestors adapted to warmer climates. Their broad shoulders, powerful limbs, and thick bones indicate that they led an extremely active lifestyle. In fact, fossil remains reveal that their average height ranged between 1.6 and 1.7 meters, with some women even taller. Moreover, their brains were larger than those of modern humans, suggesting remarkable cognitive abilities. What does all this tell us about their role in prehistoric society? Were they merely gatherers, or did their role extend far beyond what we once imagined? Join us on this journey into the past to uncover the truth about Stone Age women. Both Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal women were physically strong and well adapted to their respective environments. However, there were key differences between them in terms of height, body proportions, strength, and lifestyle. These differences were shaped by their distinct evolutionary backgrounds and the climates in which they evolved. For instance, Neanderthal women were shorter and more robust, but had 10% more muscle mass than modern European men. Their musculature was especially dense and powerful, particularly in their arms, as indicated by muscle attachment points on their bones. This unique physiology allowed them to surpass modern humans in strength, and it's not hard to imagine that a Neanderthal woman could overpower a modern man in a fight with little effort. In fact, if a Neanderthal woman fought against a Cro-Magnon woman, the Neanderthal would likely win in terms of sheer strength, while the Cro-Magnon would have greater agility and endurance. The physical strength of Neanderthal women was outstanding, particularly in their upper body. Their muscular arms and shoulders suggest that they engaged in intense physical activities, which may have included direct participation in hunting. The density and thickness of their bones also indicate that Neanderthal women had a grip strength comparable to that of elite modern athletes. Their physiology was specifically adapted for strength, endurance, and reproduction, traits that reflect the physically demanding environment and lifestyle of the Neanderthals. This evolutionary approach, which prioritized function and efficiency, is evident in the evolutionary pressures that shape their bodies. Although their average brain size, around 1,300 cubic centimeters, was comparable to that of modern women, Neanderthal women had a much more robust build, adapted to a world vastly different from ours. The social roles of Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal women were also influenced by these physical differences. Neanderthal women, with their exceptional physical strength, may have played a crucial role in subsistence activities such as hunting, whereas Cro-Magnon women, despite being strong, might have had other complementary roles within their societies. This contrast between the two species highlights how evolution not only affected their biology, but also shaped the organization of their communities. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. We have set the goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers before the first half of this year, and with your support, we can achieve it. Join this community and let's make this channel grow together. Neanderthal women were likely more directly involved in hunting due to their impressive muscular strength. Fossil evidence indicates that Neanderthal women suffered bone injuries similar to those found in male hunters, suggesting they actively participated in dangerous hunting activities. It is likely that they accompanied men on hunts, a behavior that may have been related to the smaller group sizes of Neanderthals. The robust skeletons of Neanderthals indicate that both men and women had extremely well-developed musculature compared to modern humans. The muscle attachment points on their bones demonstrate that they led highly active lifestyles, suggesting they carried out a wide variety of physically demanding tasks. Neanderthal women living in forested and swampy areas, for example, may have dragged beavers out of their dens to use their pelts for clothing. Additionally, it is believed that Neanderthals used a glue-like substance made from birch or pine tar to attach hides together, creating strong and waterproof seams for clothing and footwear. Neanderthal women were far from delicate creatures, especially when compared to Homo sapiens women. Both male and female Neanderthals had greater muscle mass and endured a higher load on their upper limbs than modern humans. This can be observed, for example, in the skull of Jalta 1, one of the most important Neanderthal female remains ever discovered. This skull provides valuable information about the morphology, behavior, and genetics of these extinct relatives of modern humans. It was discovered in 1848 in the Jalta region of Gibraltar, a year before the more famous Neanderthal fossils were found in the Neander Valley in Germany. Despite its significance, the Jalta 1 skull did not receive much attention until years later, when archaic human fossils from the Neander Valley began to spark scientific interest. This Neanderthal skull exhibits some distinctive features, such as prominent and massive supraorbital ridges, much more pronounced than those of any other known hominid. Its face, heavy and elongated, is far more symmetrical compared to modern humans, with enormous ridges extending laterally in an especially conspicuous manner. Neanderthals also had much thicker necks than modern humans, allowing them to support their enormous elongated skulls. Both the back of the skull and the jaw, which lacks a chin, show muscle attachment points that indicate they had extremely powerful necks. Even Neanderthal women displayed these characteristics with strong supraorbital ridges and muscular necks that supported their massive brains. The hormonal state of prehistoric humans must be considered when discussing their physical attributes. Estrogen is commonly regarded as the female hormone and testosterone as the male hormone. However, both hormones are present in men and women, just in different levels. Surprisingly, women actually have more testosterone than estrogen, although their testosterone levels are significantly lower than those of men. It is believed that Neanderthal women likely had much higher testosterone levels than modern women, if their male counterparts are any indication of this trait. In fact, researchers have discovered that early prehistoric humans, European female skeletons, especially those of Neanderthal women, exhibited bone densities comparable to those of modern athletes. The largest known female Neanderthal specimen, discovered in the Grotte du Prince near the French Riviera and dated to approximately 100,000 years ago, is estimated to have weighed 75 kilograms. Due to its large size, researchers initially believed the fossil belonged to a male, suggesting that this woman was truly a powerhouse of strength and mass. On the other hand, the Jinan specimen, possibly a female of the Denisovan species, is estimated to have weighed around 78.5 kilograms, making her the largest recorded female specimen in the fossil record. This impressive size is understandable given the high latitude and cold climate she lived in, which contributed to a greater body mass. Human body size peaked during the Middle Pleistocene period, so the size of these fossils is not surprising. Scientists estimate body mass using formulas that take into account bone length and circumference, and Neolithic humans possess particularly large bones. A study of 26 ancient Neanderthal specimens revealed that the average weight of Neanderthal women ranged between 63 and 66 kilograms, indicating a significantly greater body mass than that of modern women or ancient Homo sapiens females. Although the childbirth process of Neanderthal women was likely similar to that of modern women, very few skeletal remains of ancient human females have been identified. Neanderthal women, like gorillas, had larger pelvises and a lower center of gravity compared to Homo sapiens, making them naturally adept at close combat. Archaeologists have found that both male and female Neanderthals had massive forearms, possibly due to a lifestyle that revolved around hunting woolly mammoths and straight-tusked elephants, as well as butchering their massive carcasses. Both men and women would have taken part in these activities, along with carrying large quantities of meat, potentially weighing hundreds of kilograms, back to their caves, often located on steep mountain slopes. The Neanderthal represents an evolutionary stage that is undeniably distant from early humans, appearing similar to, but not identical to, modern humans. For example, analyses of Neanderthal lower limb variations suggest that squatting was a common posture for these ancient hominins, much like it is for some human populations today. This ancestral trait demonstrates how individual evolution reflects and replicates the evolutionary patterns of predecessor species. Neanderthals are often seen as an offshoot in the human family tree, but new research suggests that modern humans are actually the true outliers in human evolution. People tend to draw a straight line from our ancestors to ourselves, considering any group that does not fit that trajectory as divergent, distinct, or even alien. However, in terms of our evolutionary lineage, modern humans are the real anomalies, while Neanderthals are much closer to the core. For instance, modern humans are the only members of our lineage lacking prominent supraorbital ridges, the only ones with significantly shorter faces, and the only ones with much smaller internal nasal cavities. It is important to note that, just like Homo sapiens, Neanderthals underwent evolutionary changes, and not all of them look the same. Both Neanderthals and Homo sapiens can be classified into three distinct groups. Neanderthal populations can be classified into three periods: early, middle, and late, with the latter exhibiting more agile features, likely due to genetic mixing with Homo sapiens. For example, Neanderthal specimens from around 300,000 years ago were significantly stronger and more physically robust than those from 50,000 years ago. However, studies on the Neanderthal ribcage and pelvis suggest that Neanderthal women may have faced greater challenges during childbirth compared to modern women, although they also had a larger lung capacity. Anatomical studies also indicate that Neanderthals had the ability to produce a variety of vocal sounds. The hyoid bone, which supports the tongue and larynx, was similar to that of modern humans, implying that Neanderthals could generate speech-like sounds. Additionally, the FOXP2 gene, associated with language and speech in modern humans, was also present in Neanderthals, suggesting that they likely possessed some form of verbal communication. The language of the Neanderthals remains a mystery, but based on genetic and anatomical evidence, it is likely that they had a form of complex spoken communication. Some researchers propose that Neanderthals spoke a proto-human language, distinct from early modern human speech, but still capable of conveying a wide range of meanings. According to linguists, if we were to reconstruct Neanderthal words, we would have to base them on proto-human linguistic roots, using linguistic estimates from Proto-Indo-European or a hypothetical Proto-Neanderthal language. Some hypothetical words they might have used include hunter, fighter, protector, the one who stays strong, tracker, and many others. These hypothetical words suggest a language focused on strength, survival, and direct communication, which aligns perfectly with the Neanderthal way of life. It is likely that this language was spoken in a direct, brief, and energetic manner, matching the intensity of Neanderthal survival. It has been claimed that the human forehead reflects intelligence. In the past, the Neanderthal skull, with its clearly marked features such as the receding forehead and prominent supraorbital ridges, was thought to resemble the skulls of great apes, which supported evolutionary theory. Philosophical naturalists considered the Neanderthal man as a primitive form that bridged the gap between apes and modern humans. The skull had a distinctive appearance due to its large size, the receding forehead, enormous orbital ridges, and a flattened cranial cavity. Hermann Schaffhausen in Germany and Aldous Huxley in England referred to it as the most bestial of all known human skulls, pointing to what they called its simian characteristics. In fact, even an observer with basic anatomical knowledge would find the shape of this human fossil skull strange. Neanderthals had larger nasal cavities and different vocal tracts compared to modern humans, meaning their speech likely sounded deeper, more resonant, and possibly included guttural or throat sounds. The Neanderthal language might have had fewer vowels and relied more on words with strong consonants. The Neanderthals' pronunciation was probably deep, guttural, and filled with consonants, and their grammar likely simpler than that of Proto-Indo-European languages. It's likely that Neanderthal language lacked complex verb tenses, depending more on repetition, body language, and emphasis to convey meaning. For a long time, Neanderthals were considered the kings of the forest, extremely masculine compared to their human counterparts, with whom they competed for food, territory, and mates. According to one study, Homo sapiens men essentially emasculated their powerful brothers when mating with Neanderthal women more than 100,000 years ago. While it's impossible to know for sure whether it was primarily Neanderthal women who mated with early modern humans or vice versa, we do know that about 220,000 years ago, a Homo sapiens male mated with a Neanderthal female. Computational models suggest that the most plausible explanation for this pattern is that Homo sapiens men paired with Neanderthal women between 100,000 and 370,000 years ago. Today, we recognize modern humans and Neanderthals as subspecies, Homo sapiens sapiens and Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, respectively, based on their overlapping morphology and genetics. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to support it with a like, subscribe, and turn on the little bell so you don't miss out on new content. Thanks for being part of this amazing community. See you soon in the next video.